Hey guys, Joy from Joyous Health here. So if YouTube had smell-o-vision, you would know that I don't wear perfume because you wouldn't smell anything. I'm very anti-perfume. I used to douse myself in perfume though years ago. I used to wear Calvin Klein Eternity. I don't even know if they make that anymore. So I was basically inhaling chemicals and toxins all day. And my husband Walker, who's behind the camera, used to wear Axe. I know. So in today's video, I'm gonna share with you 5 reasons that I don't wear perfume or fragrance. Before I get to my 5 reasons that I don't wear perfume or fragrance, I have to tell you about my husband Walker. So when we first moved in together, he would often get up a lot earlier than me. And it was pretty early, 5:36 in the morning. I see those times now because we have a daughter, but back then I was still lying in bed. And I remember always after he got up and then left, I would feel like I was having an asthma attack. And this actually went on for several weeks and I couldn't figure out that why, when I woke up in the morning when Walker was getting ready, why did my chest feel so tight? And I literally found it hard to breathe. And then it dawned on me that every time he sprayed Axe all over his body and it filled up the bedroom, that's what was causing my lungs to feel like they were constricting. So we had a little chat about it and I was like, Walker, I think it's actually your Axe spray that you're using. And he was totally in agreement. He's like, okay, Joy, I'll stop wearing it just for a little while to see if it makes a difference. Of course, the first day he doesn't put it on, I had no issues with my lungs whatsoever. So it was absolutely the spray. And it's not surprising because as I'm going to talk about in this video, you're going to learn that there's actually chemicals that can be in your fragrance or perfume that cause asthma-like symptoms. But that's actually minor compared to all of the other problems that I'm going to talk about. If you have ever gotten a headache or just felt unwell from someone else's perfume or cologne, you're not a sensitive person. It's not that you're just one of those people that are highly sensitive to chemicals. No, this is actually because you're inhaling chemicals and toxins that are affecting your body. So before I tell you my 5 ways, don't feel bad about letting someone know that their chemicals, basically the secondhand smoke that you're inhaling, is terrible for your health too. Reason number 1 that I don't wear perfume or cologne, because I like to avoid thousands of chemicals. In fact, one perfume can have up to 3,000 people, up to 3,000 chemicals. And the scary thing is that manufacturers of perfume and cologne don't actually have to disclose, meaning they don't have to write it on the label, what all of the chemicals are within their product, because it's a trade secret. So there's no law that's forcing these companies to tell you what they're putting to make their fragrance smell like a bouquet of daisies. So here are just some of the problems with chemicals in fragrance and cologne. They have been known to lead to irritability, mental vagueness, muscle pain, asthma, that was me, bloating, joint aches, sinus pain, fatigue, sore throat, eye irritation, gastrointestinal problems, laryngitis, headaches, dizziness, swollen lymph nodes, spikes in blood pressure, coughing, burning, or itching skin irritations. Reason number 2 I don't wear fragrance is I like to keep my lady hormones very happy, because most fragrance, perfume and cologne, actually contains hormone-disrupting chemicals. In fact, the Campaign for Safe Cosmetics commissioned a study and they looked at 17 very popular perfumes and they found that each of them contained 4 hormone-disrupting chemicals. So synthetic musks and phthalates, which you definitely want to avoid for hormonal balance. So these hormone-disrupting chemicals can promote hormonal imbalance. And what does that mean? Well, it can contribute to things like anxiety and depression. It can make you moody. It can contribute to skin issues, even like acne. It can make your PMS symptoms worse. You see, these hormone-disrupting ingredients, these chemicals, can actually mimic estrogen in your body. So this is why they can promote hormonal imbalance and cause so many of these issues. Number 3 is a lack of testing. So many of the most popular perfumes and colognes contain chemicals that have never been tested by the FDA or Health Canada. So there can be so many chemicals that can be harmful to us. It's because the industry is largely self-regulated. And it's not just, fragrance in perfume and cologne we need to worry about. Fragrance is added to more than 95% of shampoos and conditioners. So it's also products that we use on our body, use in our hair, that can contain these chemicals that have not been tested. Reason number 4, I avoid petroleum-based chemicals in all of the products that I use, not just in fragrance, but in lip balms, in body wash, in hair wash. So the thing is that over the last 50 years, 80 to 90% of the chemicals used in fragrance have actually been derived from the petroleum industry. So I personally like to avoid ingredients like toluene, which is often abundant in nail polish, acetones, acetates. There's so many chemicals that are not proven safe for us to be putting on our body on a daily basis. And you know what? Even natural products can contain fragrance ingredients. So you really just have to read your labels. Now, as I mentioned in point 1, fragrance can have up to 3,000 different ingredients. So if on a natural product or a conventional product, you see the word fragrance or perfume, perfume not with an E, if you see one of those two words, you know that that could mean literally hundreds, well, thousands of different chemicals. You don't know what they are. So I personally always avoid products that list that. And reason number 5 that I don't wear perfume is also I care about the environment. So synthetic musks that are used in colognes, for example, they end up in wastewater, in our lakes, in our rivers, in our air, in our soil, and they bioaccumulate in the fatty tissues of our marine life. So these chemicals are getting into our environment, and they're getting into foods like salmon and shrimp, and if you eat those foods, those chemicals are coming right back to you. And finally, the last thing I want to mention is that fragrance often has chemicals that actually help the scent to adhere to your clothing or your skin. Have you ever noticed that if you spray on fragrance and then like 2 months later you smell that sweater and it still smells like the fragrance? That's because of phthalates. Phthalates are like plasticizers, the tiniest molecules that actually adhere the scent to your clothing or to your skin. Again, you breathe those in. They are hormone disrupting ingredients. So in conclusion, if you are trying to get pregnant, you are pregnant, or you're nursing, don't use perfume. If you care about the health of your body, if you care about the environment, don't use perfume, please. If you are someone who just loves your perfume, and I know you're out there and you're probably typing me a comment right now, then save it for a special occasion. If you're going to a wedding, then sure, okay, one little spritz. But just remember that every time you are using perfume, you are breathing those chemicals in, they affect your body sees them as a chemical toxin and has to detoxify them. If it's something you're using every day, your body is constantly having to detoxify that. So now you're probably wondering, what are you gonna wear to smell nice? So I'm gonna have an upcoming video where I share with you different ways to smell nice, and basically different ways you can use essential oils and mix them with different carrier oils to smell like grapefruit or lavender or whatever it is you want to smell like. So that's an upcoming video. So if you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up, comment below, ask me your questions. I love talking to you guys. I love hearing what you have to say. If you have any ideas for an upcoming video, let me know. Of course, subscribe to my channel and have a joyous day. Bye! Hey guys, hope you love this video. If you want to see more, then subscribe to my channel.